Dartmouth experience. It's different for everyone. Our unique stories are what bring us together at Dartmouth as much as they separate us as individuals. Still, there are many attributes of Dartmouth culture that unify us through our experience. We are future lawyers, entrepreneurs, CEOs, presidents, and parents. It's important for us to share our personal stories and our own unique life perspectives because the classroom is not the only place where we learn to combat ignorance. This documentary is about the Dartmouth experience from the LGBTQ perspective from several students. Listen to the similarities, internalize the differences, and appreciate a story that's not your own.
Despite the fact that some students at Dartmouth may feel a little touchy when it comes to the subject of LGBTQs on this campus, I'd say that overall Dartmouth is a pretty accepting campus. I've never been bashed. I've never had to deal with face-to-face homophobia. I've never had to deal with anything like that. I feel like here it's a very accepting campus. You're free to do what you want, more or less.
I was closeted for the first couple of months. Not really just for any real reason other than I didn't feel like talking about it with people. But after coming out, I really met no opposition from anyone, including my friends, my roommate, anything. And I started finding new friends that just sort of were really into that culture.
Dartmouth life for me is normal life, just like anywhere. I'm me. Being here doesn't change who I am at all. I feel like I know a lot of people, gay, straight, whatever. Any race, any class, any background. I feel like all of my friends are very diverse. So
people generally here are really accepting, so it doesn't really matter who you are, but it's not just the gay issue or the straight issue. It's really they're accepting of a lot of people, more so than in other places. So I think Dartmouth is a very nice and welcoming community.
Sure, I feel comfortable. I feel very comfortable. But there's always that thing in the back of your mind that says, oh, there's so-and-so, I wonder if he or she feels, I wonder how he or she feels about, me being part of the LGBTQ community.
For me, it has not been hard to be out here. It's actually been remarkably easy. I think that was my mom's always her biggest fear, was that things were going to be hard for me. That was always her. It still is. It's your life, Sexuality is a big part of your life. It's like part of being an adult.
Everybody knows that I like guys now, and it doesn't really it hasn't affected my social life really at all. I've become closer friends with people because they know that I'm an actual person now, that I'm not just fitting the Dartmouth mold. But none of my friendships have gotten worse because of it.
I came to Dartmouth just not really talking about anything at all. I didn't tell anybody because I wanted people to see me for the person that I was first. Rather than when they recalled me, they can think of me in terms of one thing, which I think is an unfair assumption.
I have always kind of been out at Dartmouth and never really cared what people thought. What about, if I don't know, I never really cared if people knew that I was gay at Dartmouth, because I don't know, my whole theory on being gay in general is that if people don't like me or if people judge me because I'm gay, then, screw them. I don't really care about them anyways, so.
I'd say there's a huge difference between being out and closeted here at Dartmouth. When you're closeted, you can live a double life here. You're accepted into so many different communities easier than you would be if you were out.
I don't do anything particularly out there, and I don't really stand out that much other than the fact that I'm tall. My clothes are pretty normal, my friends are pretty normal, and I do fairly normal activities. So I would say I blend in pretty well.
Intrinsically, there's a difference between living closeted and out, period. The moment that people know that you are different in some way, whether you're lesbian, gay, bi, transsexual, whatever, people are going to begin to look at you differently. I think there's a pressure to to normalize yourself, to fit in with, what's going on around you, to fit in with every aspect of Dartmouth, I guess.
When you think of Dartmouth, right away you think fraternities and you think prom. I can do that maybe like once a month, maybe twice a month, but really I don't care.
It's fine. Social share my frats, I can't really be all that terrible.
I know especially with the frats and straight guys in the frats, they're typically and more often a bit, how can I say, afraid, I'd say, of gay men. Say that they're always afraid of being hit on. And I know I specifically, I feel like I fit in, but I often feel as though I'm an outsider in certain frats.
It's okay. I think going into fraternities, a lot of people have made comments about the way I dress or like certain shirts that I have and stuff, and they're like, oh, that shirt's gay, why are you wearing that? Well, I don't know. Why are you wearing that shirt? It makes you look straight. Like, what does that mean? But it's funny too, because like after guys make these comments to me, they come up to me by themselves afterwards when they're not with their buddies and they apologize. So I think that's really strange.
I guess there's some fraternities that are stereotyped as being more macho or whatever. But, I've known gay people in I think every house on campus. At some point within the almost 4 years now that I've been here, and I don't think it's been a problem for them, and I think it's different from person to person and place to place, but I don't think for me I've ever really felt uncomfortable in any particular setting.
If I'm a closeted female and a man tries to talk to me, that still happens. And if I'll tell him as an open gay female, I'll be like, no, I'm not interested in you. We can talk about it wherever it goes from there. But if I'm closeted, then that's an awkward situation.
That the people that are gay, that maybe are more masculine, I'm talking about men at this point, that are more masculine are the ones that join like the very fratty frats and like try to hide it more. The only ones that aren't are people that can't really hide it most of the times.
People always suspect. People are always thinking about it and noticing little things that you do, and like stuff comes under skepticism, and it's definitely, especially when I was rushing a frat at the time, that was a little weird because they were like, do they associate me as Steve, or is Steve gay or whatever, and they're just like thinking about everything, and that like kind of sucks. Now if people have a question, they don't ask, but I can just like bring it up because you can tell that they have a question, so it's just like easier to handle now. But like when you're closeted, people are wondering because people are keener than you think they are.
I feel here people tend to talk about those that they don't know and that they don't understand. Dartmouth is seen as a pretty liberal campus, but it's very, very conservative. It's very conservative with the people who go here. Top issues like sex, sexuality, gender, they're not really talked about here on Dartmouth campus. So when you fall into one of those categories, you're kind of taboo.
One very specific time, my girlfriend and I were, we had just gone to some big talk about gay. It was like this big gay talk in Collis. Like, of course, we're being Collis, the gay hub of the world. There's like Collis Common Ground, this big talk. We walked out of there, and we were walking across the green. We were both really like wow, like I'm really proud of Dartmouth. Like that was a really good talk, blah blah. Holding hands, walking by, and this truck full of guys comes up and just yells, "Dykes!" Like right in the moment, we were like, "This is so great." So like that was hilarious. We couldn't do anything but like laugh for a long time. So you think that you've come a long way, and then like you're proven wrong.
A lot of people think that when it's a female being gay, it's more of an experimentation. It's more of a bisexual thing. It's not a lesbian thing. But when they think about a gay man, it's not a bisexual thing or a fluid thing. It's a straight up gay thing. And it just perplexes me because I'm like, gay is gay. If it's two women, if it's two men. But there are plenty of people, especially straight men that I've met, that are completely okay with lesbians and completely against anything with two men. There's a lot of ignorance. Like, that's what it stems from. I'm saying this is what I observed, but it's definitely not right. But
our society is fearful of homosexuality because of the fear of feminization of the male. I mean, I think that's what it's about, is that men hate to be feminized, and that's a whole another issue of not necessarily sexuality but gender. This campus specifically is very engendered and tied down to this bastion of masculinity, and not that it's bad in all ways. I mean, I love it, but I think that people have to step away from that and realize that it's kind of fucked up.